Welcome to Convergence Healing with Peter Bedard, where we empower you to heal your pain on every level of your being, body, mind, spirit. Our show is about sharing solutions for creating the life you want. We invite you to stand up and choose a life of health, happiness, and joy. And we're here to show you how. This is Convergence Healing.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Convergence Healing with Peter Bedard. I have another absolutely incredible, sexy, amazing.
So
yeah,
amazing.
All right. I have another great guest for you. And before we jump into my introduction of the incredible Gerry Katzman, I'm going to give you a couple of little bits of information about him.
You have information?
I have a little bit of information on you, Gerry.
All right.
I won't tell all the personal stuff, though.
Good.
Right?
No, don't.
Okay. So, Gerry has been recently featured in a documentary produced by Oprah Winfrey on teaching women in prison how to do comedy. And not only that, he's actually been working on Chelsea Handler's new show on Netflix. And something I am very proud of and how I know Gerry is Gerry was recently voted as the #1 comedy teacher in Los Angeles. That is so exciting to me. Applause all around. Yeah, the crowd roars. Right?
Yeah.
I love Gerry.
Thank
Actually,
you.
there was a time where I dabbled in doing
Stand-up
comedy,
You were
doing
very
some
good.
stand-up.
No, you really were very good,
Thank
Peter.
you. I hated it.
You did?
I absolutely hated it.
The
It was
night of your showcase you
wonderful
enjoyed.
being with you.
Didn't you enjoy the night of your show?
I enjoyed. Well, I also did a set at Haha, and I did the Comedy Store, and I did Flappers with you, and a couple of different places. I was actually invited a couple times to go to the
And
Comedy
you didn't
Store.
hate your first set? You wouldn't have done
No,
it again?
no.
if you hated
My
it?
first set was awesome. What I loved was how comedy opened me up and how you can tell your story and be very personal and share things deeply and make people laugh at the same time. So that's what I loved about comedy. I hated the lifestyle of comedy. I
the late
hated
nights.
going to late nights. And I'm sorry, Gerry, you are not this. You are the exception to the rule.
Right.
Most comedians are very unhappy people.
There is a lot of unhappiness.
They are, and being around them was just, no offense. I have quite a few friends that are comedians, and I adore all of you. You're all amazing people. But man, that lifestyle was not for me.
Yeah.
But you are one of the most amazing teachers that I've ever come across. I mean, you really teach from the heart, and you teach from a place of true authenticity. And I know in my world and in the healing work that I've done and what I'm wanting to share with people is that they have ways, opportunities to heal that are outside the traditional drugs, surgery, right? Even traditional psychotherapy. Right. Although those things aren't bad and they could be appropriate for you, I'm hoping that you will find your way back into the world. And I am just recognizing I don't have my cans on.
You know what's so funny? All this entire time,
All
Peter,
this time,
I've been going, how come he doesn't have to wear them? Why do I have to wear these ridiculous...
And I love wearing my cans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why does things sound so funny? But here we go. Okay.
You
so
can
we're
always
very
tell,
professional
You can always
here.
tell the host of a show by who's wearing the Radio Shack ones and who's wearing, turn just the profile. Like these look like they're made in Germany by children,
They're cool.
Yeah, mine are made in
I get the
Indonesia.
By
Mine
Germany.
I only get sound in the left ear, by
Is
the
it?
way.
Oh, is it? Oh, well,
Yeah.
we'll
You knew
fix
that already. Yeah,
we'll fix that. We'll get you a new pair
I'm
of
your
cans.
last host.
Yeah, we're the
Your
last of the
guest.
day. Gerry, we just know that you're such a professional.
I know.
That you are going to be amazing no matter what.
Okay.
Absolutely. I honestly, that is true.
Thank you.
I do believe that. Even if I didn't give you
me.
good cans. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
All right. So, back
Can
on
I
track.
just also, not to take us off track, just so the viewers at home know, the person behind the camera is our
producer, sexy,
Jen.
super amazing
This woman
producer.
is so
Yeah.
yummy.
She
and
is,
I
isn't
don't
she?
mean,
Yeah.
I'm not being lecherous. You're married.
No, you can be lecherous.
She's got
It's
a
okay.
Wonder
Just don't
Woman
touch her.
shirt. She's
That's all right. You
she's
could
got,
do it, yeah.
she writes. She's funny. You give a great hug. And I just want you to know that even though they can't see, have they ever seen her?
No, they've never seen her. No.
You're not gonna. You should just poke your head. I just want you.
Do you want to come out? Do you want to?
Please. Because I just
Everybody,
want the
this
world
is
to-
amazing.
the most-
Jennifer McCann.
Oh my
She's
God.
one of the producers on the show.
Thank you for being
We adore
here.
Jennifer.
I love you. I mean, I know you're married and like, but
Jerry, just make sure you keep in a respectful
that's how
distance, you know.
I just
come on,
adore
right?
your producer.
She's great.
You were great to me when I
I
came
love
in,
her too.
And thank you for
I
having
surround myself with good people,
me. Wow.
right?
Jennifer McCann.
Jennifer McCann, she's awesome, right? She is our live studio audience. So, for all of you that have been listening to our other episodes of our podcast, Jennifer is the one I refer to when we have our live studio audience.
And interestingly, I know Jennifer from her, I know of your old job from Generate, where she was telling us that she was a paid studio audience member, not paid, but because you were getting paid, you had to be a good laugher in comedy shows.
Right.
So now when she watches comedy at home, she finds
laughs
herself
even more.
fake laughing, which I think is an
Which is a
amazing
benefit.
PTSD kind of.
Which is a benefit because fake laughing actually produces same kind of
Yes.
chemicals, right?
Didn't you and I
So-
once do a thing where we did 90 seconds of fake laughing?
We
and,
did,
And
we
had-
did.
let the oxytocin flow?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Should we invite
and
the
we were
audience to-
giggling that was
Let's
like
invite-
Jerry, you know that was like 10 years ago.
No,
right?
no. I
That was
wasn't.
a long
I'm a
time ago.
millennial, Peter. But I'm on fleek. It's dope AF. Here's what I want to ask.
Yeah,
Let's do, and Jen, will you join us? And people at home, just
okay.
to kick this thing off right, we're going to do laugh yoga, which simply means we're going to laugh for 90 seconds.
We're having a guest on in I think like 6 episodes from now where we're having a laughter yoga expert.
Really?
So this will be a great prelude.
So not to make the audience tune out, let's do it for 60 because we can't speed it up because this is right.
We did speed it up that last time, so
Right.
we sounded like Mickey Mouse.
We might even do it for 45.
Mickey Mouse on helium.
So it'll be 45 seconds. You can live
Yeah.
through that, audience member, and I promise you, if you do this with us, you will feel so much better.
And the science behind that is
Tell us.
ridiculous.
Well, you know more about that than I do. Can you talk about it?
So the science behind laughter yoga and any type of thing that creates joy in the body, whether it's authentic or not. In fact, it's better, I do some work with laughter yoga, and it's better to actually fake laugh and to laugh for no reason because you're making your happiness no longer dependent on outside resources. So you're just actually choosing to laugh. And when you laugh, like Jen's laughing right now, like she tried to silently laugh in the corner. and it's infectious. That's what happens. And what it does is it creates a whole series of chemical flow in your body. And it's all the positive, good chemicals that we all talk about, right? The serotonin, endorphins, right? Oxytocin, all those type of good chemicals. So fake smiling and the studies behind fake smiling and fake laughing and the studies behind those really demonstrate to us the power of laughter and why it's so important, which leads in, we're going to do your laughter, but it leads into why I wanted to have you on the show.
Sure.
This is a health show, and a lot of people go, why would I want to laugh? Back in ancient Greek, they had things called laughatoriums. Ancient Greece, there we go. We got the proper the English.
Right.
I can't speak proper English half the time. It's like my tongue just ties all over the place. But the Greeks knew thousands of years ago, right, that if you laughed, you had a better chance of healing.
Right. And the Greeks also advocated forms of sex that I agree with.
Right.
So the point is, be Greek with us for a moment, ladies and
very
gentlemen.
Greek with us.
I'm going to time
All right, we got
us.
it.
And so, seriously, I know this sounds ridiculous. I'm going to time 45 seconds. Isn't that long? Just laugh. Even if you don't feel like laughing, just laugh. Sometimes you'll find yourself laughing on purpose.
And fake it.
Go.
You could do a goofy laugh. Jen is really laughing at me there. Oh my God.
10 more seconds.
My other producers I know are rolling their eyes. I bet they're laughing in the hall. I bet you they're laughing in the hall.
Thank you for that.
That was great. Maybe we should start every show. What do you think? I should ask. Maybe I should check in with producers. We're going to start every show.
Do the show on Grief in Morning. Your next segment on Grief in Morning.
Grief in Morning. Actually, you're right. I honestly would. I work with a lot of clients that are that and in that experience, and I will ask them to laugh. And again, when you consciously choose to do something like bring laughter into your life, it raises your chemicals. right? To a higher degree of functioning in your body, and it raises your vibration.
Someone once pointed out something to me, and you go like, well, I mean, because I'm a spiritual skeptic, you know that, and anyone watching at home knows I have all these friends in LA. Oh, you have an earache. What don't you want to hear? And I'm like, more of your new age bullshit is what I don't want to hear, is what I say. But so I'm skeptical, but I will say this. When people go on and on about like, oh, your thoughts create your reality, your imagination determines your body's response. Anytime I feel like arguing that,
right,
I think about this, and I'm not trying to be, sexual on purpose, though it's hard when you look like me not to be.
That's right.
But I think you think about a nocturnal emission. You think about I'm serious though, an orgasm in one's sleep. Mm-hmm. There's nothing physical going on there. Mm-hmm. Something that normally physically would take a fair amount of work and lotion to create, right?
Right.
And yet it's none of that's happening. It's entirely from the imagination. The imagination is getting engaged so well that an amazing physical response is happening.
So, Mr. Skeptic, you just proved...
I'm saying, I'm saying, well, I can be skeptical. I didn't prove anything, but I definitely
You just gave evidence.
Evidence that if you can hack and tap into your imagination and your feelings and your emotions, you can create a very dramatic physical response, whether that be a healing response, a sexual response, a laughter response. So I am really interested as a coach and as a teacher and as a performer in how much can we exploit these loopholes.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm on the show, is to learn and give from you and give.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted you on the show, because I think laughter is one of the most healing things we could ever do. Yeah. And when we actually bring laughter into our therapeutic process, right, we increase the effectiveness and we increase the time. We decrease the time. When I see people being able to laugh, it's like the amount of time that they're in pain is shortened.
My father just passed. You know that, right?
No, I didn't understand.
And it was a very sad time. It still is a sad time for me. And he was on, and I know we have about a minute left, so I'll tell you, right? Is that right?
Jen's really good at it.
So, but I'll tell you a story, and then we can move into your next part of the segment. He was at home passing. Yeah. And, the thing about laughter and humor is it's about perspective, right? Mm-hmm. That's why we like it. It gives us perspective on any issue. Right. And he was passing, and he was very weak. And my aunt came and said, I had a message from my uncle, who's terrible at playing cards and betting and things. And she said to my father, Barry, her husband, Barry wants you to know you were the best bridge player, best bridge partner he ever had. Okay. And my father said, tell Barry he was the worst. Now, that's an amazing bit of humor.
Right.
And what's implicit in that is I know a big thing is going on, but I also know that by paying attention to the smaller thing, it shows that I have some, I don't want to say control, but I know.
I like to use the word governance.
Governance. Mm-hmm. I can still govern it. And it's like what you're talking about. I can laugh even though there's nothing to laugh about.
Right.
So when we come back, let's talk.
Yeah, you got it. All right, so Gerry is taking over the show. He's awesome. Maybe I need to have you as a co-host.
Our sponsors are Metamucil
and no, definitely not. And in a moment, we will be right back. Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. If you're interested, check out convergencehealingteas.com. You can try all of these yummy, delicious teas that are actually crafted in my home kitchen to help you feel better. We have a Sleep Well blend, a No More Anxiety blend, and all of those ingredients in there are designed to help you feel better through the traditional qualities that Mother Nature has to offer. Check it out. All right, welcome back to Convergence Healing with Peter Bedard. And just a reminder for those who are watching us, you can also tune in to the audio portion of this podcast on SoundCloud, on Stitcher, on iTunes, and on Google Play. So we are expanding and growing and are getting our message out there to more and more people. So if you do go onto any of those other platforms, specifically SoundCloud, just leave us a message through there, or find us on Instagram and on Facebook, and on Twitter, just using Convergence Healing as either an @Convergence Healing or a hashtag Convergence Healing. We want to hear from you. So back to Gerry.
Yeah.
Gerry, I think the world would be a better place if we just rotated around you.
Thank you very much.
I really do.
I do too.
Yeah.
I've suggested this to several
right?
lovers of mine, and
They didn't get it.
Well, no, that we did it for about 3 months, and
Right.
then they just got tired.
They just got tired of it.
Incredible stamina.
So you have this a wand. What is that on the table there?
Oh, okay. I hadn't actually.
Did you have something else you wanted to go for
Well,
it?
no, I'll show you something.
Okay.
So I'm not sure this is the right timing, but
Well, let's do whatever. George,
So-
you're my guest. You tell me.
let's talk a little more theoretically, and
Okay.
or not even theoretically. Let's talk about what we were talking about, and if we need this as an exemplar
Okay.
of
All
how
right,
things.
I
of
will
how
let
comedy,
you lead the way.
How comedy works
Right.
a little bit in the brain, right? Because that's the interesting thing. It's like if you think about every joke,
Yeah.
they all work the same way.
Right. There's a formula.
There is a
and
formula.
that's what you taught me. It's amazing.
Yeah,
And it
and-
works every time.
It works just about every time, but it's interesting that in stand-up we go premise, act out, meaning true thing, funny thing. So an example of that is a joke by Dana Gould, who's a writer for The Simpsons.
Sure.
And he's talking about Los Angeles, where I fear many of your viewers are probably from Los Angeles.
They're actually all over the world, but yes.
He says, what's weird about Los Angeles is that people here are liberal, but they're selective about what they choose to be liberal about, right? And he says, like, you could be driving along Santa Monica Boulevard and see a 6-foot-tall guy wearing high heels, lipstick, and a fur coat masturbating into a mailbox, and you'll be like, hey, that better not be real fur. So
Right.
it's a good joke, and it has an act
very
out,
good
and it has,
joke.
but the premise, right? The premise is not trying to be funny.
Right.
The premise is what's weird about LA is that people here are liberal.
It's
but
calling
they're,
out a
but they're
truth.
selective about
Yeah.
what they choose to be liberal about. So for our purposes, people in AA say you're only as sick as your secrets.
Mm-hmm.
So if we, as people who are seeking for a therapeutic application of comedy, if we begin by finding our truths about ourselves, then we can then make the funny. But it's usually not until you find the truth the funny. So one exercise that I throw out there to the folks in your community is you want to get a journal.
Do we need to get? So we need to get pen and paper. All right.
They do,
Okay.
but go out and buy a journal or get a notebook. I would recommend getting a dedicated journal that you call your dream comedy notebook, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Keep it by your bed, write something in it every morning, but most importantly, make a list and say, what are my secrets? What are my secrets? We recently had a woman, I hope I'll do justice to this, in my workshops. I run a workshop, standupcomedyclass.com, and she had been roofied and assaulted while she was roofied. And she said, I don't think I can make this funny. And I said, well, then that means we should definitely try to make it funny.
Absolutely.
One of her bits is about this. Now, listen to, remember, we're going true and then funny, right?
Right.
So she says, the annoying thing about being sexually assaulted and roofied is that no matter what you were wearing that night, no matter how much you loved it, that ruins that outfit for you forever.
Sure.
She said, I've gained a little weight since that time, but I'm telling you, I've been working out, I've been eating right, and by April, I'm going to fit back in my rape jeans. That is a strong joke. She just opened for Eliza Schlesinger, 1,200 seat theater here, and that joke and that series of jokes is what got her the attention.
Sure.
And saying to an audience, I was assaulted, and that is my shame. And I'm going to take the power out of that. I'm going to take the power back from that.
Yes.
Gary Gulman is a comedian. He did a bit that's far less racy than that, far less sort of controversial, but it's just about how lazy he is. He said, I hate doing laundry. Laundry, you have to take the thing down to the washing machine, take it out, put it in the dryer, then wait for someone to take it out of the dryer for you, take it up from the dryer, take it out, put it on your bed, take the laundry out, put it on your bed, fall asleep around your laundry for 2 days. And everyone laughs because everyone has not put the laundry on their bed and then not folded it. And when you do that, you feel like, I am the laziest. Only I could have ever done that. But he said it, and then everyone laughs. And it reminds me of a quote from a comedian in New York called Uncle Dirty. And Uncle Dirty had this quote. He said, "Laughter is the sound of people realizing that they're not alone."
Yes. Yeah, when I took your class, I remember you saying something like that.
Yeah.
It was something about when you're able to talk about your pain and be honest about your pain,
Yeah.
then you know that you have the ability to be funny.
Yeah.
And you know that the potential for you to help somebody else is there.
That's right.
And that's so what I loved about your work, because it was really about being honest and truthful with yourself. And then it was about taking that into the world and helping people. I call that the gold in the garbage, right? The garbage is all the pain of the past.
Yeah.
And when you heal, there's an alchemical process that happens, and it becomes the gift, the gold that you then offer.
Right.
And you do that all the time.
Yeah.
So and you teach people how to do
Right.
that. And you've taken comedy, you've elevated it. You've elevated it into, instead just a, boom joke, boom joke, boom joke type of thing. And jokes that were always at people's expense. Like, I used to hate going to comedy clubs because as a skinny, middle-sexed male,
Right.
I'm kind of female, I'm kind of male,
Right.
I'm not like, I'm in the middle, I really am sort of that mid-gender.
I remember
right?
saying to myself, you and I are so sensitive, we could make The View look like Sports Center.
There you go,
Yeah.
absolutely. And yet I know how to use a jackhammer, so I'm good.
That's right. Oh, damn, does he?
Right?
Watch
Yeah,
this guy
man.
renovate. But you were saying going to a comedy club, being sort of a
It was I couldn't be there because they would be making jokes that felt like they were attacking either me or felt like they were attacking other people, and I would just cringe in the audience about oh God, that must really hurt. I can't imagine what that person in the corner is thinking or feeling at this moment while everybody else is laughing at their expense.
Right.
And you took comedy and you made it so that people can laugh at their pain, which makes the pain just kind of dissolve, right? And laugh with people.
Yeah.
And that, like that little laughter yoga exercise you did, it's really, you're laughing with people.
Yeah.
You're looking at somebody and you're in my head, my little critical brain is thinking, God, you're an idiot. Why are you doing this? Why are you laughing at that person? Why are they laughing at you? There's nothing to laugh about. Why is it? And it can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on in that bullshit chatter. And if I keep doing it, that voice just disappears.
Right.
Right?
Right. Because you're not the kid at the dance watching everyone else dancing, going, he sucks at dancing. He sucks at dancing.
Right. And not getting out on the dance floor and
yeah.
dancing themselves.
See, a great teacher of mine, a guy named Milton Katselis, an acting teacher, taught at a very odd school. There was a lot of weird stuff going on at that school, but he had some great teachings. And he had a saying. He said, "That which you criticize, you cannot become."
Oh, interesting.
And I saw him, I see it as those two kids at the junior high school dance looking at their friend going, what a dork, what a loser, he can't dance at all. And then a pretty girl comes toward them and goes, hey, you want to dance? And they're like, no, I can't, I don't.
Right. So you miss an opportunity.
It's a freaking boomerang. Criticism is a boomerang. So here's your second piece of homework from me. Stop. And how many, are we out of time? We have a minute, 2? 3 minutes? Good. My homework assignment to you is this. Turn down your critic. And here's the good news. You don't have to turn down your inner critic, which seems almost impossible. Turn down your outer critic, which is much easier. When I was in college, all of us, our favorite game among performers was to make fun of how bad of an actor Keanu Reeves was, right? And we'd be like, what? Now, what a dick move. Am I allowed to say that on the record?
Absolutely. And I love
We're
Keanu
all about
Reeves,
dicks
so.
here. And no, but what a jerk move because you sit there and you mock Keanu, first a man who's made more millions at doing what he does than almost, so many more people, certainly more than any of my friends and I. And then the camera gets turned on you.
Yeah.
They go action and you. So here's the homework assignment. Just knock it off. You go to a friend's play, for example, instead of going, oh, he shouldn't have done this, he shouldn't have done that. Look at what's good. wow, the lighting was good. That
Change your
actor was
perspective, yeah.
fantastic. I noticed when I started doing this, I started getting invited out to dinner more often. And then you go, well, why is that? My family is the kind of family where we would always, I call them like cold bread.
One reason is because you're sexy and funny.
Thank you so
right?
much,
I
Peter.
mean,
I
come on.
couldn't agree.
Doesn't everybody
anymore.
know that? But go ahead. What was your other reason?
We are. I'm going to come here every day. We have a family that would go. They go out to dinner and they go, oh, the bread's cold. They could have heated the bread. You notice the bread's cold. It's cold, and that's how I was. And then I did this thing with Milton, and I stopped being that, and I turned my perspective to, oh, there's bread. Hey, great bread, free bread. Who doesn't like bread, right? So then I noticed people started inviting me over and out, and I was like, what changed? It's 'cause, of course, if you go out to dinner with me and I go, yeah, you notice the bread's cold, you're never going to invite me over because I'm just a critical jerk.
You're no fun.
I'm no fun. And so my, initiative to you is whatever it is that's out there that you've been criticizing, stop it. Stop criticizing. And here's why. Here's the golden fleece behind that. If you stop criticizing all of the stuff you're eating, you're seeing, you're watching, you're doing, what they look like, you will gain such incredible freedom. If I'm not criticizing that person's body at the beach, I have more freedom to take off my clothes and be in my bathing suit and have fun and not be obsessed with how I look. So please, if you take anything from this segment or from this show that I'm on,
take your clothes off.
Take your clothes off. Be free, my children. Be free. We'll be back.
I think it's love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, love yourself
love
unconditionally.
yourself.
And I'm that guy at the beach that I will, hey, I don't have the most perfect body in the world, but I am willing to love my body.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let anybody else feel unloved because of their body.
Right. And so by not being a jerk to others, we suddenly find that compassion we were looking for.
And
in
raise
ourselves.
people up. It's not just about not being a jerk. It's about actually making a choice to consciously support that guy in standing on the beach and being proud of who he is and comfortable in his skin. I praise you, my brother, right?
Yeah, I love your hair. I love what great posture. I know, and
how amazing that you have such self-confidence that you can be that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and I want what you've got. Yeah. So with that, we'll be right back. In my home kitchen to help you feel better. We have a Sleep Well blend, a No More Anxiety blend, and all of those ingredients in there are designed to help you feel better through the traditional qualities that Mother Nature has to offer. Check it out. All right, welcome.
And we're back.
And we're back. Here we are. So as we continue that conversation, Gerry, I really, on a slightly serious note, what drives you to teach comedy and be one of the best comedy teachers in LA? What is
That's
that
really
about?
kind of you. I don't know. I started teaching an improv class, and I said to the school that had hired me. Thank you. That Jen just gave me a signal.
Get you in the mic.
But can I just say this? What she wants you to do is move into the mic. Mm-hmm. So some people would go like this, and she just goes. And continuing the theme of just
it is a little sexy, isn't it?
So
I think you're just a little excited. I think that's it, Gerry.
Highly distracting producer.
She is very distracting.
Your off-camera talent shouldn't be as hot or hotter
as you.
Well, everyone's going to beat me in that.
Oh.
But I have always been passionate about creating communities of kindness. That's like my thing. Mm-hmm. I like anywhere I go like, I am that classic, like, can't we all just get along? Isn't life great when I'm a utopian, a utopia builder. So I was teaching improv, I'd booked parts on Reno 911 and Henry Jaglom movies, and an acting school hired me to teach improv. And I said, do you mind if I teach stand-up? And I did, because stand-up was very important to me, to my career. I booked, I've done a bunch of roles, and I wouldn't have done those if Martin Gage, who was an agent, hadn't been at my first stand-up show in LA and booked me and signed me and stuff. And you have done a ton of acting as well, so I just tried to teach stand-up the way I would teach anything, which is that if we support each other, if we really give each other the space, a safe space to vent our secrets and our shame.
Yep.
And not
Tell
be
your
shameful.
truth.
Tell our truth. Tell your truth and not be shameful around it. If you have a place to do that, and everyone has an agreement, and over the years we've really gotten clear on like, what are the best rules for ultimate safety and collaboration? And so what drives me is to give people a safe place to discover themselves and transform it, sort of like your gold thing. My thing is poison. So you start with something shameful.
poison.
I poison everyone.
Yeah, I love poison.
You start with something shameful. It's poisonous to you. Oh my God, I don't fold my laundry. I'm lazy. I'm messy, or worse, or not even worse. That's very non-dualistic. But you've got a secret, and it's got you all bottled up in shame. And then through this process, or any creative process, that's a cool thing. You can paint, you can write music. If you want to do stand-up, you do stand-up. Find some creative outlet, my friends. I don't care what it is. Write, sculpt, whatever it is. But you take the thing, where stand-up's kind of cool about it is it's pretty plain, transparent. You're plain spirited. You say, okay, I'm upset, I'm embarrassed that my place is always messy, but except when I have a date come over, in which case I pretend like I'm always clean. And you say that out loud and everyone laughs. And you go, oh, I'm not the only one. But then they go, oh, I'm not the only one, right? And so now what you've done, you took the poison, you talked about it, so you neutralized it, and now it becomes medicine for everyone else.
The laughter, yeah.
The laughter. So that's what drives me. Communities
That's
of
your
kindness.
alchemical.
Yeah, I'm a what is it called? What are alchemical alchemists? I'm an alchemist of communities that help support people to transmute pain and poison into laughter and medicine.
Yeah, that's okay. So I remember in our class, in a couple of the classes I did with you, there was a common thread of some sort of shame around body type.
Yeah.
Body type was a really big one. So shame around body type and shame around something that they had done. Some sort of something that they knew they shouldn't have done and they did anyway. And some of them were pretty dark. Some of them were like assaulting other people and stuff of that sort. Right. And they were able to share that and release that burden. And I saw it as a way where they no longer needed to do that anymore. Yeah. Like that behavior was, like you said, neutralized. Now, you've done some work in the prisons, and I'd imagine there's people in there that have done things, not all. I mean, honestly, I think our prison system is, people are in jail for parking tickets. But anyway, there are people who have done things that haven't been the most highest vibration. Yeah. And you're working with them in turning that poison, right, into medicine. Yeah. How do you do that in a population like a prison?
Well, what's so cool about that, Peter, is, I've been teaching now for, almost 15 years. That's when I started teaching that class, and then it turned into my own school, which you can find at standupcomedyclass.com. And you're like, and that's a plug.
Yeah, you got it.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And so, it's good. And our sponsors are
standupcomedy.com.
So, after a while, I start to hear the same premises. If we're working from premise to act out, premises like, what's weird about, let's say, what's weird about relationships is that the thing that first attracts you to someone becomes something that drives you crazy about them. And I've heard that premise over time a number of times. Usually the joke that emanates from that premise turns out differently. But in the prison population, I heard premises that I'd never heard before.
Like what?
One woman said this. She said, you go to prison a total badass with a huge chip on your shoulder. But then there's nothing to do there but work on yourself. There's really nothing to do but work on yourself. So what happens is you are now a gentle version of yourself, evolved version of yourself, but it's still prison. So you end up acting real hard about really soft stuff. And she did this act out of like, you want to see me? Come see me. I'm in the library doing a small seminar about women empowerment, right? I had people talking about what great mediators they became in prison. They became these amazing negotiators because she said, I could solve the entire Middle East peace conflict with a roll of toilet paper and a pack of cigarettes. And Time magazine would have me on the cover saying it took a convict to solve the conflict, right? Like, so you have these women doing this excellent comedy, and they were so good. They were so good, but it was about stuff that was so much deeper,
Right.
or not deeper, but just a different slice of life.
I think that's a fair word. It is a very deep type of thing. It's those subjects are maybe heavy. It would be a word, but they are.
What was so interesting, was so cool, and I'm glad you asked about this, Jen, is that what changed was this. When we first went into prison, I went with myself, Sam, her name's Samantha, she's a groundling, and we went in, Lara, God, I'm forgetting the name of the director, and these are my friends.
That's all right.
But anyway, Lara is the director. You can watch the documentary online. It is called Free to Laugh, and then all the answers. But what was amazing is when we first went in, these women were guarded, and not really open to laughing much about anything. Within 3 days, because that's how long our workshop lasted. By the second day, they were laughing at each other. By the time they did their show in front of all the inmates, everyone thought they were geniuses. And now here's the cool part. We went back a couple months later, and now these women were free to laugh and be silly, because instead of seeing it as the other people seeing it as a sign of weakness, they saw it as a sign of power.
Right.
To be able to own your silliness.
And stand up and proclaim it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my third and final proclamation unto your viewers, your excellent viewers, and thank you. And please comment if you like any of this stuff, and please check out whatever I'm doing. I can't help but take over as host. I'm such a jerk. But is to own your silliness. People who act hard all the time, get over yourself. Also, it's boring. You're one tone. At least at some point, find one area of your life where you can be silly and foolish. Find a puppy to play with. Find a kid to play with. Let it out, man, because your life will have so much color and so much more soul if you just find a place to be your playful. I mean, that's why I hang out with you.
Because I'm silly.
I can be silly.
You can absolutely be silly. Jerry every now and then will leave me a voicemail message. That is the dirtiest, funniest message that I love.
That's true.
And they always make me laugh. Doesn't matter what's happening in my life. When I listen to Jerry's message, he always raises me. Yeah. And I really do appreciate that with you.
You're welcome.
So, Gerry, tell us, we've already gotten a few little slides in there, how people can contact you. How can people really connect with you, and how can they take your class? Are you offering a new one soon?
Well, I might be. We are, so ever since all of this stuff has been happening, we've had less level 1 classes, more alumni type of classes. If you're interested, go to my website, which is standupcomedyclass.com. There's ways to sign up for the newsletters and things like that there. You can get some articles and blogs and things. But if you're really, really interested in class and you're in the Los Angeles area, and if you're not in the Los Angeles area, you can actually sign up for an online class, which we hope to be offering soon.
Nice.
But if you're in the Los Angeles area and you're very funny, send me an email to comedyclass@gmail.com. I'll send you a video, which sort of gives you an intro to the class, a little writing assignment. You can take a crack at it. And if I can fit you into the class, I will. But hopefully just doing these assignments that I've talked about today and the ones that you'll get through that email will get you started on your own journey. And that's all I want, is to encourage and enlighten, enliven, and inspire.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for being an amazing advocate of what I do.
I love
and
what
one of
you
my
do.
proud alumni of my class. I love you.
I am. I have no desire to be a stand-up. I have no desire
But
to
the work worked for you.
But it worked for me, and it created healing, and I saw it every day I was in that class.
Yeah.
And it was such a beautiful world that you created that was so loving and so safe, and people could say things that in the regular world would be shocking. And the room just was kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, well, that sucks. But that was the basic response.
Yeah.
And there was so much love in that space and so much healing that I'm always working on bringing some sort of humor. You were my teacher in that.
Yeah.
That laughter and love and healing and playfulness are one of the things that we're missing from the healing process, from the therapeutic process. And although it may sound funny, I have clients that have been date raped and stuff like that, or that are dying from 4th-stage cancer and stuff of that sort. And when I could get them to laugh, their whole life, their energy, their soul comes forward. Yeah. And the healing that happens in that moment, and that they can so easily carry into the world, just takes over. And so I want more people in your class. I want you to go global. I want like you to teach a course of 1,000 people at a time. And I want to put every person I know that has ever been, complaining and in pain in your course. And not to be a comedian and not to even be funny, but to be laughter and to be that love and to reclaim that strength for themselves that, you know what? This is my life. I'm in charge and I'm going to choose to have a life of fun, of playfulness, and of laughter. And instead of the life that I've been living, and I have a choice. And so thank you. I really, from the bottom of my heart, Gerry, I adore you. And I know, I hope you guys know, I think you should know, you need to know that I love all of you watching because without you, I wouldn't be here. So thank you for your brilliance. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for watching, tuning in, listening. We really, really do appreciate it. And I'm serious. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what your feelings are about what we're bringing out to you guys. And I want to know if you need help on anything specific. If there's something that you're going through that I can maybe find an expert that would address part of your issue, send me a message, send me a note, and I will do my best to find somebody that can help you heal. So with that, thank you for tuning in. Find us on Facebook and like all of our stuff. Just like it. Just go through and like it. And we'll see you later.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen McCann.
Jen. Bye, Gerry.
I love you.
You're awesome.